Took that in away, battling, having got in way of the attempted clearance. Jim Gannon. Oh, great flick of Alan Armstrong.
This against Bradford, but here's Warburton!
Yes!
Oh! And trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, yeah!
Not got it clear. Please, sir! It's a cracker!
Running Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal!
Tony Goody! Stockport County are the champions of League Two.
Hello and welcome to the Scarf Bagara War with me, Russ Johnson, episode 51 this week of the Stockport County fans, all inclusive, for fans, by fans, in partnership with Edgeley Conservative Club coaches, Arola Prince and charity partners with Mentel. I'm joined by Jimmy this week because Waggie is, should we just say he's let us down, Jimmy? Should we just say that?
Yeah, I'm a last minute sub, aren't I? Let's face it. But for me, Christmas has come early because I've been promoted. Promoted from the graveyard shift, the Sunday night, Courtyard Club call, and I'm on the main event, so I'm happy.
Nice. I'm glad you're happy. I'm really glad you're happy. Yeah, good.
Yeah.
Cheers to everybody for watching live and everybody that likes and votes and reviews and everything that does and gets involved. It's really appreciated. We've got a bit of a packed show again tonight. Probably the last one before Christmas, if we're being fair, because we're not going to do one on Christmas Day, let's face it. But we'll bring you something nice to watch over the festive period, and we'll get into that later. But we're joined today by fan guest Liam Root. I think everybody knows Routy, so we'll get him on very, very shortly. And we've got an opposition preview with Up the Posh cast. Ashley's joined us. He's going to give us an insight into Friday's game. But on the agenda, we're going to talk about that Stevenage defeat. We're going to look forward to Peterborough, obviously, on Friday. Maybe cover a bit of Huddersfield on Boxing Day. We've got Get in the Reses. We've got a listener's question. And we've got a bit of admin to get through as well. There's a bit of admin to get through. So let's do that. So cheers for everybody that is joining us live. Should we get our fan guest Routy out? Let's do it. Cheers, Jimmy. Thanks for the interaction.
Oh, sorry, mate. Was that a call?
Armstrong, played in the game, and a superb goal, and it's Connery who scored it.
See, the way it works, Jimmy, is it's a bit like going live. You know, like live. You're supposed to interact with me as a co-presenter. That's the way it works.
Yeah, you see, because I'm the main presenter on a Sunday, I get to ask the questions. So I'm not used to having the questions asked to me. So I might take 5 minutes just to get warmed up. Basically, I've not done my hammies yet. I've not worn my hammies yet, and I've not done any stretches, but I'll get there. Trust me.
And you've not put the deep heat on as well, either.
Definitely not put the deep heat on. No.
Jimmy, you just sit back and relax. I'll ask all the questions. You relax tonight. Anyway, Routy, Liam, how's it going, mate?
Hi, mate. Going well.
Good. Glad to finally get you on. We've had a couple of chats, haven't we? I've been threatening to get you on. So I'm glad. Yeah, no worries, mate. I'm glad you could make it. We'll ask you all the debut questions later. We'll get stuck into county later. Find out how you started supporting county and all that kind of stuff. So you just strap in, ask questions of the Peterborough fan, which I'm sure you'll do.
Yeah, well done.
And without further ado, we'll get Ashley out. And I hope I've said this right, from the Up the Posh cast podcast. How do, Ashley?
Posh.
Good evening, everybody. How are we?
Good evening.
All right, yeah. I've said it right, Anna. Up the Posh cast.
Up the Posh, yeah.
Yeah. Bit of a tongue twister, that, isn't it? But with the Posh cast. Cheers for joining us. First things first, tell us about your podcast.
Tell us about the podcast. Well, we only started in sort of July, so start of the last season. We got the 7 of us together and sort of just bashed heads. There's a few of us that go every game. There's a few of us that go when we can. There's a few that take trips to Spain each week to watch the games. But all in all, I would say that we've got relatively good coverage of watching the games and a relatively good insight into Posh as well. One of the lads is a sponsor of Posh. I'm a sponsor of one of the players at Posh, and like I said, we've got plenty of knowledge. And pretty much, I think Dell's the oldest at like 65, and then Charlie's the youngest at 17. So a good spread.
Nice, a bit like ours. We've got a good spread, haven't we, Jimmy? What are you? You're 64. I'm 33. So
I'm looking
Dell
at
is
him now,
not
aren't I?
65, and I hope that he's watching. I think I can't remember how old he is. I think he's in the 50s somewhere, but 65 for argument's sake.
Fair dues. How much do you know about county then? Because I know I'm of an age. Jimmy's of an age. Liam's a bit younger, I would say. I mean, I remember us playing Peterborough in the league last time we were in the league, and in the 90s when you beat us at Wembley. Do you remember any of that? What's sort of your overall opinion of Stockport County?
Well, yeah, I was born in 94, so the 92 was it playoff final? Way before my time. And in terms of supporting Posh, it was probably around 2008, 2009. So I don't have the best memory. It's sort of been the last 4 or 5 years where I've really got stuck into it and started going week in, week out. So not obviously got too many memories of Stockport, but bizarrely enough, one of my mates that I play golf with, he's a Stockport County follower, and his dad is a fan as well. I think it was his granddad potentially was a supporter of Stockport County. So, but there's people down in Peterborough that are Stockport County fans. So it would be rude not to pay attention. And look, I'm not going to start throwing anything around, but it's a better story than those that have got promoted with you over the last few years, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh, is it? Are you talking about? There's a klaxon going off in North Wales.
Look, I am not saying anything. I do not need any Wrexham fans.
I'm not saying anything.
If you ask me to choose between the two, which was the better story, I know which story I'm choosing.
Okay, cool.
Thank you. We'll take that as a compliment. There's only one player that I'm thinking of from the 90s. You'll probably remember this, Russ. Ken Charlery. Do you remember he was a right pain in the arse when he played against us, and we signed him, didn't we?
Yeah.
And he was useless from what I remembered. He couldn't hit a barn door.
He couldn't hit a barn door, yeah. But like you say, he was absolutely, he tore up the division, didn't he? Oh, he was just brilliant.
He was meant for them. A bit of
we
a less
have quite a good record even now. We have quite a good record even now, sort of making players look really good and then selling them on for millions, and then they sort of drop off. Obviously, there's the few that do really kick on when they leave us, but we do well out of getting players to look really good in a system at the club, and then they leave, and people are like, well, why have we paid all this money for them? So that's something that's definitely carried on into the current day. If you guys are saying that Ken Charlie was trash for you when he came from us.
Yeah, he was just one of those players.
He's a Posh legend, so yeah.
Yeah, I absolutely rightfully so as well. I don't think, I mean, he came to us at the end of that season where we went up into the Championship as is now, and he was more like just to bolster the attack, to come off the bench and help us, and he didn't. I mean, we were expecting big things, and it just didn't work out for him. Tell us about the club at the moment, then, because you are. I think you're owned by Darren McAntony, who's quite a vocal character, got a big presence on social media. He's got his own podcast, I think, as well, Hard Truth podcast. What's it like? What's it been like since he's took over, and where are you heading?
Well, basically, ever since I've supported Posh, he's been the owner, and there's lots of people that disagree with the way that he does things, but ultimately, it's really been nothing more than success in his time. So I think it's very difficult to complain. There's lots of, especially in the older fan base, like that it was it was worse in the 80s. Like that's the phrase that goes around quite often. Like obviously some of the teenagers these days only know sort of one way, and that is success. It does come with its downfalls in the model that we have is that we buy from the conference, we buck out of like academies when they're booted out, and then we sell them when they're good enough to leave us. So it's very difficult, and it is a bit of a revolving door, but it's exciting at the end of the day. I think that like Posh aren't entitled to think that we're going to get promoted every season, and unfortunately this season is sort of showing that. We were very lucky that we had a great run when Fergie came back in 2 seasons ago and managed to sneak into the playoffs. Obviously, last year we were much better and ended up finishing 4th, I think it was. But we've just not had the luck in the last 2 playoffs. But overall, our record in them is relatively good. And even though we didn't get promoted, we still won the Bristol Street Motors Trophy as it was, which is a nice day out. And there's always that argument, isn't there, with that trophy? We've obviously won last night against Southampton. Is it worth it? And it's like, well, not everybody gets a chance, do they, to go to Wembley? So what better chance than sort of taking I think we were 35k to Wembley, and there was plenty of people that will probably never get the chance again. So no complaints from me. And I'd say overall, like going back to your question, Darren McAntony's sort of been fantastic for the club. There's been hiccups along the way, don't get me wrong, but I think that we're in a good position at the moment, and the club's great, which you can't ask for much more, can you?
Yeah, absolutely. And when you talk about non-league players coming to Peterborough, you had Danny Lloyd for a bit, didn't you?
I was going to say that.
Yeah, they had Lloyd, didn't they, Liam? So
yeah.
And Liam, how good was he for us, Danny Lloyd?
He was awesome for us.
Yeah, he was off the scale. But how did he do for you? I don't think he came. Did he come straight from us to you, or was there a club in between? I can't remember now. But
it's
I've got a funny feeling
between.
Was it?
Yeah, I can't remember who it was. But do you know what? It's a really tough one with Danny Lloyd, because as is normally the way with when players come in, it's who they're replacing. That is always very difficult. And even now, obviously, we sold Efron Mason-Clark back in January to Coventry, and then we brought in Abraham Odo from Rochdale, and it's so difficult to replace those players, and they're sort of chucked straight into it. But actually, they need 6 months before they learn the system, learn what's going on, and all of that sort of stuff. So it is difficult to be a Posh signing. I was never massively impressed by Danny Lloyd. I always thought that his attitude was sort of somebody thought that he was better than he was, and that he shouldn't have been playing at the level. But he dropped back down a little bit, didn't he? And because he'd been at Posh, I'm relatively sure that he earned some big bucks, and he was one of those players, like one of the first ones that went to Salford, wasn't he? And earned relatively big money there, being like a top end League One player at Posh, and managed to make his money, which is ultimately what all these footballers go out to do, isn't it? Is that it is their career, and I will never begrudge anybody for going out and earning money and taking the best paycheck on offer.
What about Tishimanga? How did he do it, you guys? Because you signed him, and had he broken his leg by that stage or not? I can't remember, because we've been linked with him for like 4 years. Like constantly.
He was on the way back. So it was Chesterfield that he came from, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I think that he was injured at Chesterfield. He was then fit. It felt like there was a rumour that Johnson Clark-Harris was going to go. So it felt like we'd sort of scramble to find somebody. And then I probably think that he had probably no more than 10-minute stints on the pitch. And when he did, it's a really, like, this is another one of those really difficult ones, is that we signed him and then we changed the way that we were going to play. And he wasn't really like a typical Posh signing. So he's not been very good, let's say, but that's also not a fair sort of judgment, because when he has come on, he's coming on with 10 minutes left and you're expecting him to pluck something out. But as is always the case, going back to sort of Abraham Odo, you need a run of games if you're going to start firing goals and performing at the level. So, yeah, he's not been anything special. He is unfortunately one that sort of dug his heels in by the sounds of things, and won't leave and won't take a transfer. So we've had to loan him out. I think he's at Swindon at the moment, but he's putting the ball in the back of the net down there. So I think he'll leave on a free at the end of the season, and it'll just be nobody will ever remember him. It'll be one of those like pop quiz questions where like you go, who did, like, he'll be the example of like the failed non-league signings, which there are plenty of, but you always remember the good ones rather than the bad ones, don't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Okay, then moving on to current times and current divisions. So currently sitting in 13th position in the table, played 19, which is one less than us, on 24 points. Your previous results, you got a good win in the Johnston's Paint, or whatever we're calling it, EFL Trophy. Last night, I think it was. Was that Northampton 3-0? Yeah,
3-0 against Northampton, which was quite nice because we'd lost to them at their place 2 Mondays ago. It's a bit more of a derby for their fans than it is ours. Depends on your age, actually, because as the old lot will remind me, Peterborough used to be in Northamptonshire, which is why they see it as the derby. But for me, Cambridge is the derby. So depending on who you ask, but then ultimately Northampton, don't have anybody nearby other than Kettering, and they lost to them in the FA Cup, didn't they? So
They
Northampton
did,
try and tag on to Posh and make it a bit more of a derby. So, you know, when they were giving stick, it was nice to sort of give it back. But then they dropped the whole, it's only the EFL trophy. It's not that big of a deal.
Yeah. I mean, just looking at your results in the last 5, you've won 3, lost 2. Two of those wins were in the EFL trophy, but you managed to get a nice win against Crawley. And before that, you got beat by Burton. Let's just talk about your form overall. It doesn't look great. Has it not been great, or have you been playing well and just losing? How has it sort of worked out for you?
Do you know what the truth is? We've been really good and really, really bad at the same time. Like, we just can't stop scoring goals until like the Burton game, which was like, oh my God, we've not scored. Like, that was the biggest shock of it all. Like, when we're losing, but still scoring. So to not score against Burton was a massive surprise. And then we go to the Crawley game and we're 3-1 up just straight after half time, cruising. And then all of a sudden it's 3-3 and we're scrambling for a win. So like you said, you've seen some of our predictions. Like, I'm relatively sure that there's going to be goals in this game on Friday night, because I'm confident. I feel confident every game that we go into that we're going to score, but our defense is just absolutely diabolical at the moment. So we will concede. Like, there's nothing I'm more certain of.
Okay, I mean, it's not a great place to come if you leaking goals, Edgeley Park, I've got to say. So maybe some of your predictions on yours might be true, but we'll get to predictions shortly. Talk about players then. The one that stands out is Kwame Poku. He's on all of the graphics online, you know, with all these, you know, highest sort of FOTMOB ratings and highest scores and all this kind of stuff. I mean, how good is the lad?
He's fantastic. We took him from Colchester 4 years ago, I think it was now. And this has been the season that he's stepped up and sort of carried the team. He is definitely a moments player, I would say. But unfortunately, he's had to have surgery on his hamstring. So he's out for 3 months, which is a shame, because the sort of the race that him and Louis Barry were having was quite interesting from our side to sort of see. Obviously, you've got him come in, and Poku is keeping up with him and offering more in the assist tally, I would say. But yeah, he's out for 3 months now, so he's definitely a massive loss. But at the same time, Kean Hayes, who we signed from Fleetwood, has sort of stepped up to the plate in the last sort of 3 games. So, you know, it's like one bad loss, and then, or like a loss on the pitch, and then we give somebody the chance, doesn't it, to step up another run of games in the team. So yeah, Poku's a massive loss. Don't get me wrong; he is the best player in League One. Like, I can confidently say that that he's the best player in League One, and he will be the next one that we make lots of money from. But yeah, he's injured at the moment, so unfortunately, you won't get to see that on Friday night.
Oh, that's kind of good news, really, isn't it, for us? that your leading scorer, best player, is injured. If we're going to pick out a weakness, then I know you said the defence, but is there something specific where you're weak? Is there? Obviously, Charlie's not going to be watching this, I don't think. But is there somewhere where we can sort of focus?
Well, yeah, you say focus. That's our problem. The defenders are all very young, and they just really struggle to focus for 100 minutes of football. And we've discussed this on our podcast, in that teams don't just rip through us. It's very much like we switched off for like 3 seconds, and then the ball's in the back of the net. If you look at the goals that we conceded against Northampton, one was from a set piece where the player's just completely lost his man, and then the other, we've let the ball bounce in the box like 4 or 5 times before even trying to make an attempt to tackle it. Then if you go to the Crawley game, again, similar sort of story. We've conceded 2 in 5 minutes. It's just that's the issue. It's the lack of attention that the players just don't seem to have, and it's a massive frustration, because we just are so good at scoring goals, but it's like you're relying on the players and the strikers to score 5 goals a game to even have a chance of winning it. So yeah, that's a frustration. If you're relentless for sort of 90 minutes, then I've never been more confident that you'll score goals on Friday.
It's bizarre. You've got the second best record of scoring goals, so 37, and the second worst record of conceding in 35.
Yeah.
You are
Well,
a strange side, aren't you? When you look at that
well,
stat.
that is classic Peterborough United though, and like you don't feel like you've wasted your money buying a ticket to watch Posh. That's for sure. Like even if you go back to, I think it was 2012 when we got promoted against Huddersfield in the playoffs. I think we scored like 120 goals, but conceded like in the 80s. So you're talking 200 goals across 46 league games. Like it's always entertaining, and that, like I said to you just now, like the Burton game to be a 1-0, it was like, this is a shock to the system. I think that we held a record at one point for having the longest consecutive run of no 0-0s. I think this was a little while back, but it just went on forever. Like there was just no 0-0s in Posh games because there's always goals when Peterborough United play football.
It must be down to your manager, though. I mean, Darren Ferguson's been there a long, long time, hasn't he? So if you've been saying that you've been like this is your DNA, basically, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
And how he sets your team up.
Yeah, totally. Is that he? I don't get me wrong, he's very frustrated at the moment with the conceding goals, and I believe that we're going to bring in an experienced centre back in January on loan potentially, just to help the guys out because they sort of need it. But yeah, you're right. Is that he knows what the Posh fans like, he knows what the owner likes, and that is exciting football. I would never want to support a team like when Steve Evans came in. That was probably the worst time to sort of be a Posh fan in recent times because it was just boring. Because that's the way that Steve Evans plays his football. It's effective, but it's boring, and that's not what Posh fans ultimately. And they definitely voted with their feet when Steve Evans was at Posh.
Fair dues. Right, let's get into the match on Saturday then. So, fans.
Friday.
Sorry, Friday. I'm going to be there on Saturday, aren't I?
No one's going to be there.
Liam, Routy, go on, ask the question about the fans, mate.
How many fans are you bringing?
So I think it's just above 700 now, somewhere between 700 and 800. So not a sellout, but yeah, the Posh agreed to the Friday night because I believe that you've got a little thing, haven't you, before, like that you do most years, is that you have a Friday night before Christmas, which is where you play a game. So yeah, Posh agreed to it, which definitely stopped us selling out. But yeah, so 700 to 800. We're not the noisiest bunch.
That's not bad.
We will just sort of turn up. There'll be a pocket of sort of 100, 200 fans that will make some noise, but a lot of Posh fans like to watch football, that's for sure, rather than sing and dance around.
Yeah,
nice.
Hopefully we beat you.
Yeah, straight to the point there, Routy. I like it. Last question then, Ashley, and then we'll let you go. Predictions. What are you going for on Friday night? In terms of score.
Yeah, I have predicted Posh to win 5-4. There will be goals. I am going to stick with that. I've said that we'll batter teams at one point, and it feels like we're slowly getting there. But Friday night's not that night. And my 5-4 is said tongue in cheek. I don't be surprised if I'm not. If we lose, I wouldn't be surprised. But you know, you can't come in and predict your team to lose properly, can you? So. Let's go with a high-scoring, exciting game of Posh to win 5-4, and I'm not sure whether it's on TV or not, but
yeah, it's on Sky.
Yeah, is that lots of people getting the attention? It's surprising that Posh haven't had more games picked for TV properly to be the main event. Like you said, sort of we're 60+ goals in now. Is that when Posh play, you know that there's going to be excitement. That's for sure.
It's because your name's not Wrexham.
Change your
name to Wrexham and you'll be on TV all the time.
Yeah, ironically, neither of our games against Wrexham have managed to be picked up by the TV. So you know, but they all watch it in America from their streams, don't they? So
just one more thing before you go. It is about Wrexham, unfortunately. Was it your podcast that predicted that you would beat them easily, and then they beat you 2-0, and then it all blew up, or was that because that was Phil?
Yeah, that was right. Yeah. They that was a learning experience for sure. In that we sort of didn't really appreciate that other people would watch the podcast and opposition fans would come and listen and watch, and it sort of made it to Twitter, and it was just absolutely mental.
Yeah.
Lots of strange personal attacks coming out. But don't get me wrong, like the guys were all fine, and I received some personal messages off the Fearless in Devotion guys, and there's a lad Josh that runs a daily show. So the ones, ironically, that it's always the faceless it's always the faceless accounts that give it the big one, isn't it? But if you set yourself up and you put yourself in front of a camera, you've got to expect some sort of comeback. So I don't get offended. Don't get offended by these sorts of things, and it was all good fun. But yes, we were the ones. Charlie went on Fearless in Devotion. He said that we were going to win like 5-0 or something. Yeah, I made a comment about how their fans were getting bored, which was quite funny actually, because I did see a picture that this fourth wall that they've got, which is an uncovered stand behind the goal, was like half empty the last weekend. So that's you guys have got an uncovered stand behind the goal as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we have, but you're not in. It's the railway end, and if the weather is anything to believe for Friday night, it's not going to be great, I don't think. So we put you in a couple of covered blocks. I think we have to really we have to cover you. But are you coming up for the match yourself?
Yeah, I'm up. It's my girlfriend's 30th birthday on Friday, so we're taking a trip to Manchester.
Oh, lovely! Make sure you get her a Christmas dinner and a cup as a birthday.
Well, yes.
That's so good.
No, this. I saw that advertised, and I was like, right, there you go. What a treat that is! Christmas dinner at a cup at Stockport on Friday night. It sounds like it should be fantastic, and hopefully I can scoop my Brussels sprouts out and give them to her.
Yeah, nice. Ashley, thanks very much for coming on. Really appreciate it.
Right.
Thank you.
Nice one, Ashley. Thank you.
See you all on Friday.
Yeah, see you Friday. Good luck after Friday.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers, mate. See you later.
Thank you.
There you go then. That's Peterborough. Liam.
Yeah,
Liam, have you had a Christmas dinner in a cup yet?
Yeah, they're so nice.
Are they?
Yeah.
Good. I mean, they've obviously got loads of attention, haven't they, across up and down the country. I haven't had one yet. Have you, Jimmy?
I haven't had one. It was made famous in the Aldershot FA Cup game, wasn't it? With Dion Dublin.
Oh, it was, yeah.
What's her name?
Jules.
I can't remember
Jules.
the female presenter.
Jules,
a former England player. What's she called? Not Jill Scott. Anyway, her. So they were.
Oh, I know you mean. Yeah. The one that's going to be doing Match of the Day, we think.
Yeah.
No, it's not that one. I can't remember who it is, but yeah. Who cares?
Let's move on. Right, Routy.
Yeah.
Come on, let's answer the questions then. When was your first match? Can you remember?
Mine was at Wembley in 2008.
Was it? That was your first match?
Yeah. My brother was the mascot.
No way, was he? Does your brother still come now then? Is he still coming?
No. He's City fan now.
He's not a City fan.
He's changed.
You've got some work to do there, Routy.
I tried to convert him, but I can't. I don't speak to him after that.
Well played. Quite right as well. Yeah, we don't speak to City fans.
No,
we don't. Here we go. We've got a comment. So Vic Clegg said it was Jules Breach. That's who I was thinking of, but you're thinking of someone different, aren't you?
Yeah,
You're thinking of Alex Scott.
Alex Scott. That's who I thought it was. I could be wrong, but
Liam, you said before that your dad would be watching because he lives in Spain. Please tell me your dad's a County fan.
No, he's a Wolves fan.
Oh, that's all right.
Is
he from Wolverhampton? Yeah, they are. Is he from Wolverhampton then?
No, he's from Rochdale, but he's brought up to support Wolves.
Right.
For some reason.
So go on then. Why are you a County fan?
I brought up to being in Stockport, and then I got to like County.
So was the Wembley match the one that did it for you? Then you went to Wembley with your brother, and you was like,
then I loved him after that. Can't stop going.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. How old were you then at Wembley?
16.
16. Okay then. Yeah. Favorite player back then when you first started watching?
Anthony Pilkington.
Oh, quality shout.
and Liam Dickinson.
Yeah, well, they both scored, didn't they, in the final?
And
I remember rightly.
got one more. What's his name now? Michael Rains.
Oh yeah,
Michael Rains. Yeah.
Yeah,
He's still at the club, isn't he?
yeah.
Coaching.
nice. What was your what's your favourite ever goal you've seen? you've
Stephen
been to a lot of matches,
Gleeson's
haven't
at Wickham.
Yeah, nice. That's on our titles.
Yeah.
Yeah. So was you behind the goal for that then?
Yeah, it was scenes.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah.
So hang on a minute then. Wembley can't be your first game then, can it?
No,
that was-
I went Wembley, and Wembley. No, Wickham, sorry, and then I went
Wickham was
Wembley,
your
sorry.
So the Wickham, right, so let's get this right then. So the Wickham game you went to, the first goal you saw was Stephen Gleeson's absolute thunder bastard. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that, does it? Jesus.
No.
Wow. But it didn't change anything, did it?
No.
No,
Sorry
it
to pull
didn't.
on, but do you remember that famous quote? That goal changes nothing.
That was
What an
a
idiot.
good goal, that.
Yeah.
It was a good goal. So favourite players are Pilkington, Dicko and Rains. Favourite goals, Gleeson. I can sense a theme here of the timing of when your other stuff is. Your favourite ever match you've been to?
Oh, Eastleigh and Notts County when we won the league.
Nice. Yeah, Eastleigh.
Yeah.
Go on, talk us through that one, because that one doesn't stick out to me.
Eastleigh in the National League when we played it.
What score was it?
Can't remember. I think we won.
Okay. What was good?
What was it about that
about
game that made it stick in your mind, Liam?
Just the fans. We were so loud.
Fair
And
play.
we was electric that game. So loud.
Looks like we won 2-0. Thanks, Tom.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, I can see we've got a lot of Routy supporters in the comments. So if there's any good ones, any good questions you want to ping up for Routy, they've got to be appropriate though. Let's just say that we'll definitely ask him. And then the final one. Well, we've done goal, we've done players, we've done them all, haven't we?
Yeah.
There was something else I wanted to ask you as well, because you go home and away, don't you? Like you go every match.
Yeah, I go everywhere.
But how long have you been going home and away?
Since National League and Wembley.
Right. Nice.
Wow. Did you go on the coaches?
Go on the Crofter, yeah.
Crofter.
Conclub.
Which is now the Edgeley Conservative Club coaches.
Yeah.
I still call it Crofter.
Yeah, it's probably his nickname, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you reckon? Best coaches or?
Yeah, I love it on there. Best coaches going.
Yeah. Well, we're in partnership with Edgeley Conservative Club coaches now, the Crofter coaches.
Yeah.
So get on them, and we'll be doing giveaways and things on the coaches.
Get on them.
Yeah. Never know, you might bag yourself a prize, Routy. How about that?
Cheers. Thank you.
So, Stevenage defeat then. You went on Saturday, Routy. Go on, give us your opinion of the match. What happened? Why did we lose? Give us a bit of a talk about it.
I thought we weren't that great at the back. We weren't passing the ball like a team.
Mm.
Do you think
we went a bit too long? We seem to be kicking the ball long quite a bit, didn't we?
Yeah. At the back.
Yeah.
What do you think? what do you think our biggest problem is then? Because we've obviously we'll look good going forward, don't we? I think we're okay at the back. What do you think? What do you think Charlie's sort of main, I don't know, task is now? What do you think his main thing to do next is?
That's a tough one, that.
We're asking tough questions on here, mate.
Yeah, no.
I tell you what, then let me phrase it differently. If you were Charlie now, what would you do in the transfer window? Let's say
I'd just buy some more players and.
Which position do we need? Do you think?
Positions.
Oh yeah. I'll just change the team around.
Do you think we're okay up front? Like, do you think we need any more strikers, or?
I think we need some more strikers and up front as well.
Yeah, I think someone agrees. So Nick 10 says biggest problem, in his opinion, is lack of competition for first choice strikers. Jimmy, are you going to go along with that?
Yeah, 100%. I was saying on the Courtyard Club call that the front three picks itself because nobody else is pushing. You've got Louis Barry, who's undroppable. We'll all agree with that. You've got Carl Wootton, who plays the right way. Like Dave wants someone to play like Carl Wootton, to hold the ball up with runners off him. No one else can do that. Tanto's tried it. And then we haven't got anybody in the Will Collar mould. We bought Fiorini thinking that he would challenge, I think, and sort of play that maybe that far forward as well. But Collar is such a Swiss Army knife when it comes to like midfield, attacking midfielder, attacker, that he can't be dropped either. And then whenever you put anybody else in, they just don't seem to do it, do they? And it's so frustrating for us. So he keeps on having to play the same players. Frustrating for Dave, I think, because he knows that this squad should be doing better.
Yeah.
The third team's fine. Okay, we lost against Stevenage, but that was just a bit of an anomaly, I think, that second half. But we should be doing better with the squad that we've got. And I know people will say, well, God, we're in fifth place. What's wrong? But if you take Louis Barry's goals out of that team, I know it's a flippant comment, isn't it? It's easy to say, if you take that. But if you do take his 15 goals or whatever it is out of the team,
yeah,
Jack Diamond ain't scoring those goals. He's not scoring 15 goals. And you look where you'd be in the league then, and it's we are up there because we have Louis Barry scoring in moments. He's
awesome, Lou Barry.
He is, isn't he? He's just box office, isn't he, Liam?
Yeah.
What do you reckon he's worth? What would you pay for him if you won the lottery, you had 100 million quid, like Euro Millions? How much of it would you spend on Louis Barry? What's he worth?
Don't really know.
Come on, give us a figure. You can do it.
$500,000.
$500,000? Okay.
$500,000, I'd take it now. I'd get a loan out now for $500,000.
Yeah.
In fact, I might do that myself and then flog him in like 5 weeks' time and make some money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you not think it's mad though that we're fifth in the league? I think the last time we were fifth in this league coming up to Christmas was 2008. If memory serves, and it all started to go to rat shit then, didn't it? After the announcement and administration followed and all that kind of stuff. But we're fifth in League One. We're not quite a one-man team, but we're not that far off it. And it's I think it's really intriguing because for me, this is not to say a free hit, but I'm just enjoying the ride. Like everyone keeps on saying, just enjoy it because you're on the way up. Fifth in the league, fifth in League One. I'm sort of really interested to see what Charlie and Simon Wilson do next and how they're going to solve this problem. Because I mean, if we're being honest, and I'll ask you, Liam, how do you think Fiorini and Jack Diamond have been? Have you been disappointed with them, or have you been really happy with them?
I've been really happy with them.
Go on, tell us more. Why have you been really happy with them?
They're great players, and they do the job.
Yeah, but when they've come in, they've not really. Jack Diamond probably more so, but Luis Fiorini, for me, I just feel like there's so much more to come out of him, and maybe it's game time, running the team, all that kind of stuff. But I feel like we've got a really good first 8, and I said this last week or the week before. We've got a really good first 8, maybe first 11. Once you start bringing more players from outside of that into it, I think the connection level goes down massively.
Yeah.
Liam, do you think that maybe the players are almost relying on Louis Barry too much? Like, I used to play 5-a-side football back in the day. I remember one of the teams that I used to play in, and we had this amazing guy. Like, literally, we
I
might
think
win.
we laying him on too much, Lou Barry.
Yeah, but there's a danger, isn't there, that like your other teammates, like as I say, when I was playing, like this guy would score 10 goals out of our 11, and we just give it to him.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that professional footballers are going to just do that, but is there sometimes when you've got an absolute box office player in your team, is there sometimes this sort of impression that, oh well, Louis will get us out of trouble, he'll score a goal for us. And when he's not in the team, maybe they play a little bit more teamy. I don't know. Could be that, couldn't it?
Yeah,
could be. That's what I mean. Yeah, you're right. I think it's happened before. I can't name the player, but we've relied on a player. When you take that player out, the rest of the team almost has to step up, and they get more opportunity, don't they? I've definitely seen that before. So yeah. So Routy, on Saturday, then, was it a case of Stevenage being dead good, or were we just shit?
It's just shit.
Because even Charlie said that. Yeah. Even Charlie said the second half was a shambles, didn't he?
Yeah.
He even said that himself. Yeah. Do you like? Are you a fan of Charlie? Then do you like him?
Yeah, I love him.
Good. Have you ever met him and told him?
Yeah, I told him.
Did you? Nice. What did he say to that?
Cheers, thank you.
Did he? Hey, nice.
We could have written that, couldn't we? I bet we knew he was going to say that. Cheers, thank you.
Yeah, no,
On to.
Okay, can I just ask one question to Liam? Liam, do you think he's been our best ever manager? It's difficult to answer, maybe, but
it's hard to say out of Jimbo and Charlie.
Yeah, 2 solid choices, though, isn't it? Both legends.
Yeah, definitely. In fact, we've got a question for you from Charlie Ralphs. I take it you know Charlie Ralphs.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Charlie Ralphs says, "What's your opinion on Corey Adai?" Oh, has he gone? Oh no, you're still there.
Still there. I'm here.
Yeah, you're there.
It's all right. What do you think about Corey Adai? Are you in Ben Hinchliffe camp, or are you in Corey Adai camp?
Ben Hinchliffe. All the way.
Do you rate him? Do you rate Corey Adai though? Do you think he's one for the future, or?
I don't really rate him.
Right.
He doesn't grab the ball with his hands.
Yeah, that's true. It's true. He's not as good as Ben, is he, when it comes to command his area?
Super Ben. I love him.
Have you met Ben before?
Yeah.
What did he say to you?
Met him on Saturday at Stevenage.
Yeah.
I had a picture with him.
Oh, top.
I love him.
Nice. Good stuff. Okay, before we move on to Peterborough on Friday, just have a bit of a chat about that. There's a couple of bits of admin that I need to say. So the Kenny Boxshall interview is out there to watch, and so is the Liam Hogan interview. The Fraser Horsefall interview will be available any day now. We're just waiting for Fraser to check it and balance it, basically, and we'll get that out. Yeah. Got a few irons in the fire. So James Jennings, we will get him on at some point. We've had to move that. We've also got Warren Feeney coming on soon as well, he's the new Weymouth manager, isn't he? Don't know if anybody saw that. Yeah. So that'll be good. And last, a couple of things to mention as well on charity stuff. So you may or may not know, Matt Brady is doing a walk. I'll ping some links out afterwards. But Matt Brady's doing a walk to Wigan Athletic when we play them away.
Oh,
so
I
he's
do
doing
that with him.
Do you know Matt?
Nice.
I've seen him about.
So are you doing that with him then, Routy?
I want to. I went to a mental on Monday.
Right.
And, I found it really good. And want to make some money for them.
Nice.
Yeah.
Get in touch then. Get in touch with him. Absolutely.
Yeah, well
good stuff. And then there's Jimmy Stevens is auctioning off a signed shirt, a signed Ben Inchliff shirt. So get onto that. Again, we'll get the link in the chat and onto the description. I think the current bids, I think he wants to raise over 200 quid. I think the current bid's 110, but I'm sure somebody else has bidded. In fact, no, it's over 200 quid. So if you fancy that, get onto that as well. And the charity for that is BU, which is anti-bullying charity.
yeah.
So that's a good one. And that'll be done pretty soon. Okay. On to Peterborough then. Do you fancy us to win?
I fancy us to win 2-0.
2-0. Nice.
Yeah.
What about you, Jim?
I'm going 3-2 to us. Plenty of goals, plenty of excitement, but we'll win.
Louis Barry. Go on Friday.
Nice.
Yeah, I reckon.
Got a question from Ben McCloy. What's your favourite game from this year, Liam?
Oh, I say, it's hard to say. I say Blackpool away.
Yeah, 100%. Spot on that, mate. What a game that was.
That
Nice.
was
Yeah.
that was a good away day. That at Blackpool away.
Yeah.
Definitely. Did you make a day of it?
I stayed up in Kirkham on the Friday.
Oh, did you?
And
Nice.
went to Blackpool on the Saturday and then went back to Kirkham on the Saturday and then came back on the Sunday.
Yeah.
Made a full weekend out of it.
Nice.
I thought it had Notts County vibes because, like, we were down the side and we had like so much of that stand, didn't we? It just felt like the Notts County
it did, yeah.
this season. Proper atmosphere. The home fans were so quiet, weren't they, as well? I mean,
Yeah,
there we go.
they get battered, Blackpool.
Yeah. It was nice to go back to Blackpool after for years and years and beat them again. Because I think the last time we went was 4-0, wasn't it? I think years ago. So, and I was expecting us to get beat that day as well, or it'd certainly be a harder match. But we absolutely battered them, didn't we?
Yeah, we was awesome.
Yeah. Sorry, I just interjected with a question there. So back to Peterborough then. I listened to their podcast a few hours ago. As I said before, they're all talking about it being 5-4, and
Doubt that.
I know, yeah. And there was some of them said, it'll be 4-1 to them and 3-0 to them. I know you've just said 2-0 to us, Routy. Let's talk realistically now and proper. It's going to be a tough match, innit? These are always tough.
Yeah.
Peterborough free scoring. Is it? I thought that Stevenage would have been a tougher match than it would have been.
Stevenage, I thought on the Friday, I thought we was going to beat Stevenage, but no.
Yeah, because these matches often appear like they're easier on paper, don't they? But when you actually get there, because Stevenage are a League One team at the end of the day, aren't they?
Yeah,
they're decent, aren't they?
They've got a decent defence as well. You can't forget. I mean, I think they've conceded.
They're good at the back, Stevenage.
Yeah.
They are.
Pass the ball. Well.
Yeah, it makes it so much harder for us. I think we prefer playing against a team like Peterborough rather than a team like Stevenage.
Yeah. They had Stevenage had Piergiani, didn't they? he's a nuisance in his Piergiani.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
used to play for us. But yeah, so yeah, it's going to be. I think Friday's going to be tougher than we maybe imagine, and it's going to be free scoring. Routy, you said 2-0, didn't you?
Yeah.
Do you not think Peterborough will score?
Not with super burning goal.
Yeah, good shout. And yeah, Poku for them, he's not playing, is he?
No.
So yeah, that's a positive for us, I'm thinking. Okay, so that's Friday. Anything more on Friday, Jimmy? Do you want to cast your dulcet tones over that?
Just that I can't make it. I'm gutted.
Yeah.
It's my Christmas do. I missed the Notts County game last season as well because that was a Friday before Christmas. Every year, if anyone's at the clubs who can make this decision is listening, please don't put the game on the Friday before Christmas because it's Jimmy's Christmas do.
Yeah,
watch it on telly.
You know what? I think I will do. Yeah, I don't have Sky, but I'm sure somebody at the table will have it. So I'll make sure I grab someone's phone and watch it.
I was going to say, Jimmy, aren't you self-employed? So you're not just by yourself on your Christmas do? Surely you can pick the day that your Christmas do is.
Cancel
it. Self-employed doesn't mean anything for people. Yeah, no. There's like 16 of us, so.
All right.
That's all good.
You can
we're playing 5-a-side on the morning.
Saturday.
Yeah, it needs to be Saturday, doesn't it? That'd be better for everybody.
Yeah, Saturday evening, then you can't go wrong, can you? Unless we get put on a bloody 7:45 on a Saturday evening, like we did with Barnsley. That was just
that horrible kickoffs.
Yeah, they are. Mate. They're minging, aren't they? Yeah. Right, let's do game reses. Do you know what? I've not got any this week again. I could probably think of some. Let me run the VT and then we'll play getting the reses. We'll do getting reses.
Getting the reses.
Come on, getting reses.
Getting reses.
Getting reses.
That's rubbish. Getting reses.
I'm not having that. Getting reses.
So, getting reses. Routy, you're our guest today. What's your getting reses?
My pet hate when we pass the ball at the back.
So is that your getting reses then? Stop passing the ball around the back.
Yeah, it does my head in.
Does it? Do you not think it's like it's part of the modern game though, isn't it? To play out from the back and be a bit tippy tappy. You not like it?
Not back to the keeper every 5 minutes. Like.
Yeah, there's a balance to be had, isn't there? I think.
And then Ben Inch lifts and then boots it upfield.
Yeah,
that's my pet hate.
Yeah.
So
I agree with that.
Yeah. So passing it around at the back and then booting it up, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. Fair dues.
You may as well boot it up to begin with if you're going to pass it around the back and then boot it.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
I'm with you, Liam.
Yeah. Cheers.
Jimmy, what about you? Because I genuinely haven't got any this week. I'm struggling.
Yeah. So I was watching the Manchester derby at the weekend. And Mike Dean is like, I don't know if anybody watched the Manchester. Has anybody seen the Manchester derby from the weekend? Yeah.
No, I don't watch that rubbish.
Okay.
Fair news.
Yeah. Well, I would say that sometimes, like, County is like the best meal you could possibly have, but every now and then you need like a really filthy kebab. So that's what the Manchester derby was for me. It's like that sort of filthy kebab, which is like a bit of a. You shouldn't really be doing it, but it's okay. Anyway, so Mike Dean on Sky Sports talking about the penalty. Okay, there's a penalty that should have been given to Man United. And he said, I quote, "I thought it was a natural coming together. I don't think that's enough in a game like this."
Yeah.
Now, there's so much wrong with a comment like that. It's either a penalty or it's not. A game like this has got nothing to do with it.
No.
And when you compare the penalty that Ibi Toure gave away, he was coming from behind the man. Okay, he sort of put his arm across him, didn't he? This was in the Stevenage game. I think that what got us was the fact that he tripped him up because he sort of ran across him a little bit. But he also tugged him a little bit with his arm. But it was completely like different to this blatant penalty that Gvardiol should have conceded against Hoyland. So that was just, I just hate how that can even be a thing, and like the guy can't be sacked for saying something like that.
Yeah,
he should be sacked.
Well, there's people been asking for it, isn't they? So
yeah.
Do you know, on a similar sort of theme, I heard before VAR, I heard Gary Neville say in a Man United Liverpool match that the goal that United scored, which was offside, it was offside, but there was no VAR, so they just give it. He said, well, they deserve that goal for all the pressure they've had. So they deserved it to go in, even though it was offside. And that's the same kind of comment, isn't it? It's like, well, hang on, but it was offside, so you can't say they deserved it if they've not scored it, scored an illegal goal.
Yeah. In fact, if we stay on that theme, Russ, so the whole Manchester Derby game from last weekend can get in reses because Kyle Walker, has anyone seen the footage of Kyle Walker falling over?
Yeah.
When he had like this little sort of head to head. Again, it was with Hoyland. And he basically falls over holding his nose. And he's nowhere, like, why can't VAR get onto the referee and say, book him for the initial skirmish and book him for the play acting and send him off? If people start getting off for shit like that, they'll stop doing it. It's embarrassing. It was like that Rivaldo one from the World Cup many years ago. Ball hit him in the side and he went over holding his face or something. Yeah. I don't know why they can't like step in VAR on that.
Don't know. John Billsbury says it right. He's just coined it basically. Natural justice shouldn't override the laws of the game, which is exactly what we're talking about. It's just wrong. I totally agree. I'm so glad that we don't do any of that. That play acting and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. If that ever creeps into our game, the player that does it, I probably wouldn't like the player, to be honest.
But we don't seem to take on players because they have a certain type of like backstory, don't they? These sort of players, like a certain personality. I think we're pretty good as a club at vetting the players that we buy them. They're good footballers, but also I think we look at their personal life and all that sort of stuff as well, and make sure they fit in with the squad. Yeah. Apart from John Rooney, of course.
John Rooney.
So here we go then. So that's game reses. Let's finish off on just a couple of questions for you, Routy. Some from people that have commented in, but some from me as well. Who's your favourite player now in the squad?
Louis Barry.
Louis Barry. If he goes back to Aston Villa, because he's looking like it, innit? I know, but he might do though, Liam. I'm sorry to say, he might do. Who's your second best player then? Favourite player?
Madam. No.
I was going to say.
Oh no, yeah. Wharton. Sorry.
Carl Wharton.
Yeah.
Yeah, strong.
Sweet. Yeah. And we've got a question from Ben McCoy as well. So this is one I'm sure you can answer. I'm sure you've got a good answer for this, Routy. What's the funniest moment you've experienced on the Crofter coaches?
When my Stockport dad falls asleep.
When Stockport who?
My dad, Ben McCoy.
Is he your dad? Is he your county dad?
Yeah, he looks after me.
Fair dues. Nice. Good stuff. Right. That's an hour gone already. Happy days. So we'll wrap it up there. Cheers to everybody for watching, listening. Do rate and review, subscribe, and all that good stuff. And Liam, cheers for coming on. Have you enjoyed it, mate?
You.
Have you enjoyed it?
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, good stuff, mate.
Nice having you on, mate.
Yeah, nice having you on, bud. Really appreciate you coming on. Jimmy, won't see you on Friday, but I'll see you probably over the Christmas period.
Are you going for a pint on Friday?
I am. I always go for a pint in the courtyard, mate. Usually the Armoury and then walk to the courtyard.
Yeah. I go in the Bobby.
Well, if I see you in the courtyard,
I've a sneaky pint in there.
Sneaky pint. If I see you in the courtyard, I'll get you a beer, mate. Cheers for coming on.
Thank you.
No worries. Right. Cheers, everybody, and we'll see you over Christmas. See you later.
Have a good Christmas.
And you, mate. And that's a wrap for this episode of the Scarf Bagara War. We hope you enjoyed the podcast. Remember, you can catch us every week on your favourite podcast platform, whether it's Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or Google Podcasts. And a huge thank you to all of our Patreon members. Your contributions help keep the show running to bring the content you love. If you'd like to support the podcast and get access to exclusive special guest episodes, ad-free podcasts, and a monthly giveaway, head over to patreon.com/the Scarf Bagara War. And don't forget to follow us on social media for updates, behind-the-scenes content, and more. You can find us on X, Facebook, and Instagram, all at County Podcast. Lastly, if you enjoyed the show, please leave us a review and share it with your fellow County fans. Your feedback helps us improve and reach more listeners. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you next time on the Scarf Bagara War. Come on, County!